welcome back to another episode of Research Fantasy Presents, our MLB DFS hitter pool for Saturday, April 8th, 2017. I don't know why it took me so long to get that out. I guess I'm just thinking about all the awesomeness that awaits on this slate tonight, because not only do we have some high-quality pitching, but we also have some hitters that are cheap in pretty good spots tonight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you my 3 favorite plays. I'm using FanDuel pricing. I do have them tiered. 1 under 3K, 1 under 4K, 1 above 4K. FanDuel is going to be a free-for-all. You are literally going to be able to do whatever you want to do tonight on their DraftKings. Definitely a little more tight with how you have to play. But let's get things started. Talk about yesterday. Mike Zunino had a single, otherwise didn't come through. But Manny Machado, Yoenis Cespedes, both of these guys left the yard. That's what we're looking for in our video picks. We're looking for guys who can help you leave the yard, because all points come from home runs. Tournament wins, you're not going to see a guy take down a tournament without at least a couple of home runs, probably more near half a dozen home runs in his lineup, unless some team scores 20 and it was all done by singles and doubles and the pitching staff was just horrible that night. So let's hope to keep momentum going. Let's start things out today with someone on both fantasy sites that is just way too cheap, and that is shortstop Brandon Crawford of the San Francisco Giants at 2,800 on FanDuel. I think he's 3,400 on DraftKings. So basically, both of these sites took Brandon Crawford, found a nice little box, wrapped him up, put a pretty bow on it, and just said, here, take. Did you watch opening day? Did you see what Julius Chasen did against the Dodgers? That's what's going to happen here against the Giants. I don't care where this game is played at. Dodger Stadium, not a hitter's park. And they still put up a big number against Chasen. I think I'm pronouncing his name right. Honestly, who cares? We'll just refer to him as the guy who feeds lefties. So how can you not like Crawford tonight? And for that matter, Brandon Belt, like these two together, I'm going to have a stack of those two guys, because I'm convinced both of them can leave the yard tonight. Belt is already just beating out his own teammate Madison Bumgarner in the home run department. And it is worth noting that Bumgarner has actually taken Chasen deep once in his career. I think that for Brandon Crawford, I mean, he's just a plug and play in your cash games and your tournaments. I'm expecting nothing less than like 15 fantasy points on FanDuel, probably 10 points on DraftKings, with upside to hit 20 on both of them. He is my low dollar play of the day. Let's head back to the first base side, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you a little extra today, whatever you want to call it, because I'm really excited about this slate. I could have just as easily flip-flopped my low dollar play and my mid dollar play. I mentioned Belt. He would have been my low dollar play because he comes in at 2,900 on FanDuel. My mid play is, and actually he might have been a low dollar play too. He is a low dollar play. Wilmer Flores, 2,500 on FanDuel. I think he's 3,100 on DraftKings. That's why I was thinking he was over 3. But this dude rakes against left-handed pitching, and that's where the Mets are going to see themselves again tonight. I don't mind a Cespedes-Flores stack. I would leave the rest of the team alone. They just don't do well, because everybody on the team that switch hits better from the left side, I think, maybe except for Jose Reyes. So And with him, I mean, what are you really paying for? The upside for a home run's not really there. But Flores comes through as a nice value play as well. Okay, I'm going off script. That's okay. Let's get back to things. First baseman, Freddie Freeman, Atlanta Braves, 3,300 on FanDuel. I said in the pitcher video that it looks like the Padres this year might be more like the Braves, where they let you get over on them for like 5 or 6 innings. And then just when you feel comfortable that your pitcher is going to get the win, relief comes in, and all of a sudden all hell breaks loose with the Braves bats, and my favorite slogan, they paper cut you to death with a bunch of singles, stolen bases, doubles, and before you know it, even though your pitcher's out of the game, even though his fantasy score isn't being affected by the runs scored like they're not his, the possibility for a win disappears. I don't see that being how things go for the Braves tonight. Chad Kuhl is an awful pitcher when it comes to left-handed bats. Just to kind of highlight where we are at here, I don't know why my Google Doc, of course, when I need it, is exploding. Chad Kuhl, WOBA, 3.67. Fly ball, 35.2. Doesn't have an extremely high home run to fly ball ratio, 10.8. Huge pull percentage, 50.9. And a hard hit percentage of 37% against left-handed hitting. Freddie Freeman, he's going to send the ball very far, very hard today. He's what you want to look at in both cash games and tournaments, because I do think he's someone that can get the ball out of the yard today. I like the pull rates. 50.9% pull. I mean, what does that tell you? That tells you that he's hitting it 50% of the time. The ball is getting pulled to the shortest side of the field for the hitter. I mean, that means he has to hit it less distance. If a guy's a straight center field hitter, which I don't think there's too many of them, or if a pitcher's a straight center field hitter, ball has to go very far. I mean, you're talking about, 40, 50, maybe even 100 feet difference in some of these parks. So I love Freddie Freeman tonight. I do think he's going to get on the board with a home run. I don't think he has one yet. So I think we're going to see the first Freddie Freeman dong of the year. Wouldn't be surprised to see him post a huge line all around. He's one of my favorites in that mid-range. Now for me, for my top overall bat of the night, a lot of different places you could go. I don't mind going back to Cespedes against another left-hander who has struggles against righties. I really don't mind going with Corey Seager in Coors. I think John Gray is going to shut the team down, but I think Seager is the one guy that will get over on him. Bryce Harper, whenever this guy plays the Phillies, it's just like, watch out. He just somehow manages to decimate them. So he's a guy I need to have in like 50% of my lineups tonight. But someone who I'd consider having more if I can make it work is Mike Trout. Mike Trout has ownership of Felix Hernandez, and it's really interesting. I mentioned in my article, which you can click on either in the video or below, I mentioned in my article that I actually don't hate the idea of having a Felix Trout stack, because Felix has performed really well against this team. Nobody really gets over on Felix as long as we think he's healthy. I think he's in play, and he's a guy who's most likely going to get somewhat overlooked, but Trout has just decimated him over the years. So there's no doubt in my mind that Felix could give up 2 runs, but what if there are 2 solo shots to Trout and he gets a double or a stolen base? Like, you could be looking at a 30 to 40 point night from Trout and a 35 to 45 point night from Felix at the same time if Trout's the only one who can manage to do damage. So Trout has to be in a lot of my lineups tonight. He's doing the things that Mike Trout does. He's hit one out of the park already. He's had some down games, but you're going to get that from Trout. I mean, I think this is an excellent spot to run him out. Would not be surprised if all 3 of my favorite plays in tournaments tonight, being Brandon Crawford, Freddie Freeman, and Mike Trout, all leave the park tonight. We come back Sunday morning. We talk in the comments section about how we all made so much money. That would be the dream come true. So thanks for joining us again. Make sure to hit your tournaments hard. Don't fade Kershaw. Don't be that guy. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel below. Head over to researchfantasy.com. Sign up for our MLB mailing list. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Research and Win. And join us again tomorrow.